to be having this event today. And thanks for everyone joining us either on Zoom or on Facebook. And to those of you who would watch this event after, we say God bless you and nice to have you on this platform. So just by way of introduction, I am Vincent Lawal, and with me here tonight, as always,
I'm Victoria Lawal.
Victoria Lawal. Yeah. So you're welcome once again. And just to put out a disclaimer around, because when you're talking about health, usually it's a sensitive topic and it's one where you really need to be knowledgeable. So we're not health practitioners, but we're human beings who are trying to make our health better, because of course it's got lots of benefits doing that. Now, if you do have health issues, you may need to see your GP. It's advisable that you see a medical practitioner so they can advise you in terms of what you need to do around your health. Before you embark on any journey yourself, if you've got health issues, please speak to your medical practitioner first. And also, the information on healthy living is so vast that we can't cover everything tonight. So we're just going to focus on a particular aspect of it. And just to whet your appetite, today we're looking at physical health. Next month, we're looking at mental health. We'll be talking about stress, anxiety, depression, especially among Christians, and the impact of that. So that's the focus for next month. But for today, it's around physical health. And this program is brought to you by Transformation Sanctuary, where our ethos, our goal is victorious living and Christ likeness. And we pursue both of them with the energy God has given us. But before we continue tonight, we have a special guest with us tonight, a professional in this particular field, in this particular area. He's a wealth of experience. And without much further ado, I'll give him the opportunity to introduce himself to us. Over to you, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, pastors, for inviting me to your church to this special program. It's a real privilege. I always say it's an honor to address the saints of God, and I never take that privilege for granted. So I'm really happy to be here, and this is an area of great passion for me. So when you invited me, I was actually quite excited. So thanks for having me. So I'm a very humble man who's had a lot of experience in the area of health and fitness. Been on this journey for about close to 40 years. And I've done everything from ultra marathons. I think I've run a total of about about 5 ultra marathons, half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks. I'm interested in anything fitness, boxing, skipping, tennis, brisk walking, high intensity interval training. And my specific passion in my own label, which is Ultra Spirit Runners, which you can see, is to encourage people to look after their body, which is the temple of God, but to trust God to give them the strength and the motivation to do so. So my label is Ultra Spirit Runners, and I have a health and fitness program, and I'm a personal coach, and I have a one-to-one personal training program with people, depending on what they're trying to achieve. Either they're trying to lose weight, or they're trying to turn their lives around, live a healthy lifestyle, or they're trying to compete, maybe going to a 10K, 5K, run an ultra marathon or marathon, but specifically to enable people and to equip people with the motivation and the knowledge that they require to look after their body and to turn their life around and to actually pay specific attention to their body. The word of God, quoting the word of God alone will not do it. We also have a role to play in in looking after our bodies. And if we look after it now, as we get older, we will reap the rewards of doing that. We're able to live stronger, and live longer and healthier and be of great use to the kingdom of God. So in a nutshell, that's yeah.
Wow.
Thank you
Wow.
so much for having me once again.
Thank you, and thanks for sharing your passion and what you do, what you do with us. You know, I remember years ago we so of course as a ministry, as a church, we're involved in missions. We travel around the world, especially to Africa, to nations in Africa, to deliver the gospel in a practical way and in and of the gospel in a spiritual way and a practical way. And I
Yes.
remember when we go there, one of the things, so there's a church we partner with there,
Christ for
so Christ
Christ
for
for
Rural
rural
Nations, yeah, for Rural World
nations,
is the
missions.
mission is the name of the program we go for. And at some point they were just like, oh, let's give Jesus 10 press ups, you know. And you see all these people go down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I remember then that when they say that, of course, all of us rush out because you have to come in front of the church to do that. We rush out with adrenaline, you know, it's like, yes, let's go give Jesus 10 push
Press
ups.
ups.
But for some of us, after the second and the third one, we either we get stuck. Now remember, everyone is watching you, and we're talking about a church of maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people watching you.
Yes.
Either you get stuck or you just look at others and you wonder how and why they're able to do it. And when you then stand up to even walk back
Back to
to
your seat.
your seat, it's like, oh my God. So that was one of the reasons why. And I see men who are way older than me doing it, and I was like, this can't be right. I'm meant to be a young one. How can they do it and not me?
And
So
I can say,
that's why I just said, you know what, we've got to change. And apart from that, my wife, years ago, years before I started exercising, started, and she was always keeping fit and doing things. And I'm like, what's your stress? God is good. You know, if God is good, why do we need? Why do we need exercise?
Yeah.
But then I noticed that we walk, either we're walking up the stairs somewhere and all that, and here I am breathing hard, you know, while she
yeah,
runs up the steps, I'm coming and I'm like, yes, you know, and I just felt, you know what, I've got to do something about. So that's just my own personal testimony.
journey, yes.
I got into that.
And I guess with your testimony, Vincent, it's a good thing when we have to praise God and they say, "Come out, every man, come out and do 10 press up for Jesus." It's a good thing, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah.
It
So
is, absolutely.
I think that that's your own example. For me, you know, there's when we used to go to parties. I mean, weddings, and you know, when they invite us to parties, and we dance and we sweat, and the following day we could hardly get up. And you wondering, you know, what happens to me? But unfortunately, it is you have exercised muscles that you have not exercised
Oh,
before.
yeah.
Exactly.
That is actually good pain, isn't it?
It
So it,
is.
you know, and really that leads us to the next thing, which is why is being healthy. So now we know that, you know, being healthy is and being fit is important. Like I
Yes.
think when we were chatting with Bayo the other day, he was talking about people who go to the gym and beef up their, you know, their hamstrings, and but
Yes.
sometimes it doesn't mean those things that you see. It doesn't mean the fact. It doesn't mean that those people are actually healthy, because some
Yes.
of them are not actually. They're just building their muscles. So my
Yes.
question to you, Bayo, is why is being healthy and fit? Why? How does it lead to happiness? So if you can just, why is it important? Why?
So yeah, so health and fitness for quite a while, especially in the Afro-Caribbean sector, has been ignored
Mm.
because God had blessed us, a lot of us with very fresh skin, and we tend to look younger than our age. We thought we never really needed it. So as long as we're looking good and we wear nice clothes and we show up at the party, and everybody, and you know, our friends would normally say, "Oh, you're looking very good. Wow, what's your secret?" Unfortunately, a lot of people were being fooled by that, thinking that that meant that they were healthy.
Mm.
But I have a personal experience. My dad died at the age of 55, and my dad was very slim. He always had his friends telling him that he looked healthy and looked young and all that, but he died suddenly.
Wow.
Before my dad died, personally, I've always been someone who's been I'm a very active person, so I've always liked health and fitness, running, cycling, and all that. But when my father died, I questioned a lot of things. I used to ask myself a question, but why would he die at the age of 55? He'd never been to hospital before, and that's another topic, So no regular health checks. We need to do regular health checks. I'd never known him to go into hospital before, and he was slim. So why would he die? And his screen looked fresh, and he looked younger than his age. And that was a wake-up call. And it should be a wake-up call for a lot of us, especially the Afro-Caribbean, because for a long time, we never really used to do anything. Health and fitness is essential because what you see on the outside may not necessarily be what is going on the inside.
Oh, wow.
And our internal organs were designed, to function effectively. It's a bit, I always use the example of a car. It's a bit like a car. You can have a nice, shiny, brand new car, park it on your driveway, batteries in there, you're not driving it, you're not doing anything with it. With time, it will start to develop rust, the battery will die, and then you go into the car one day and switch on and nothing will happen. On the outside, it looks nice and shiny, but on the inside, there's a lot of things that are wrong. Health and fitness is essential because as Christians, if you're coming from a Christian perspective, we owe God to look after what He's given us. This body was given to us by God. And I feel that a lot of Christians are going to be shocked when they get to heaven earlier than they should. When God says to them, you failed. And they're like, well, I served you, I was in the church. And God says, well, you never looked after what I gave you, which is your body, which is my temple. I said it in my word that your body is my temple. So health and fitness is a deeply spiritual thing. It's not a carnal thing. When you look after your body and you're keeping fit in any form of fashion, and there's also the Zumba, high intensive interval training, there's running, skipping, brisk walking, dancing, there's a lot to choose from, boxing, so much to choose from. You are looking after what God has given you so that you can be effective in the ministry to do what God has called you to do. So, and also so that we can live a longer, healthier life. I don't want to be in my 70s or in my 60s and I'm not able to enjoy life, do the work of the ministry, go sightseeing with my wife, travel the world and do stuff like that. Why? Because I'm ill and I always have to make up to it some hospital appointment. I want to be able to do those things to the fullest. That is not going to happen if I don't do something about it now, and that's where health and fitness comes in. So just in a nutshell, that's it.
Thank you. That's really useful. And as you were talking, I was trying to filter and crystallize what you're saying in my mind, which is what I always do. And what came to my mind, the analogy or the picture which came to my mind is in our places of worship. Now, assuming we're Christians, assuming whatever. In our places of worship, no one will want to go in there and find a place which is dirty, full of dirt, full of all kinds of things there. You wouldn't want to. You wouldn't want to. You expect the place to be spick and span, to be clean. There's an ambience about where we worship God. This morning, I woke up this morning early and I was about praying, and the table in front of me, we had dinner there last night. Of course, we cleared everything away, but there were spots here and there on the table, which was dirty. And I knew in my mind that if that table was not clean, I wouldn't concentrate whilst I was praying there. So the first thing I did was I cleaned the table, and then after that I went, this looks good now. Oh, now I can pray. So the same way where we want God's house to be clean, to be nice, well organized, well set up, it's the same way God expects our bodies to be. It's His temple. When He comes to that temple, what does He see?
Yeah, absolutely.
So He wants to come into a place which is nice, healthy, neat, fit, and then He can stay there and bless us. But if our temple is filled with all kinds of leftovers and hangovers and all the overs, I'm not sure God will want to stay in that kind of temple, So that just came to my mind as you
love that analogy. Actually, that's one I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using that more often, because I think that really just captures. It really just captures. Just captures it. perfectly, making sure God's temple is tidy, neat and tidy. The inside is in a good, it's in a good shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
And I guess it's still talking about the why. Why is it beneficial for us to look after ourselves? Just
Yes,
like we pay insurance for everything else, our
yes,
health, when we look after our health, is like we're paying insurance for the future.
Mm.
And
yes,
when I mean looking after our health, I'm not talking about just exercise, even eating well,
yep,
sleeping well. What do we put
yes,
in our bodies? Drinking water. Honestly, this afternoon I was having headache, and I thought, why would I have headache? And I went and I drank a cup of water, and that relieved it. And sometimes what we think of is, oh, should I use this paracetamol or should I use something else, which in
yep,
itself is good, but sometimes it does have effect on
yes,
our good health. There's no way you will have you will be healthy in your body that it won't make you happy.
Yeah.
Health is
yeah,
always the primary thing. Is
Foundation.
the foundation.
Yeah.
Is what every other thing
absolutely.
hinges on.
Yeah.
Our work life, our family, how we our social life, everything hinges on our health.
Yep,
The more healthy we have, the less stress we have, we live longer if God permits, if it's not taking us home on early.
yes,
But like we say, good health is, we are not a burden to others when we look after
yes,
ourselves. And we're still talking about
absolutely.
why. Why is it beneficial for us to have good
Yes,
health? When we remain
yes, yes,
physically active every day, you find out that there is what is called endorphins. Is it endorphins?
yes.
Active hormones, we
Endorphins.
call it.
Yes,
And exercise doesn't have to be rigorous. You don't have to be like up
no.
by now run 50 kilometer. Well, I hope when I get to his age, I'll be able to do that. But I'm not planning to. Not planning. Vincent, do you have anything to say about why before
Well,
we
I
move on?
think before we move on, of course, you see, the body is designed in such a way that when you walk it, it yields to you. And it's interesting because if you look at time, the way we spend time, when you
Yes,
invest your time, it brings rewards to you. When you
yes,
don't, it brings regrets. Yeah. So it's either reward
exactly.
or regret. It's the same also with our bodies. We invest in it, it brings us rewards.
Good returns. Yeah,
Don't invest in it today, it leads to regrets. And it's not regrets around, oh, or maybe, oh, I should have exercised when I was young and all that. Of course, all that might come to our mind. But it's more like, I wish I could do X, I wish I could do Y now, but I
yeah.
can't do it because
Because
it's too late. So it's just important. I think that just sets the foundation for this evening, that though we are spiritual, though we are financially okay, though we have our families, everything is good now and all that,
yeah,
we need to invest in our bodies. We need to
yes,
invest in our health so that it can last us the journey. We need to be
yes,
looking to live till 80, 90, 100, strong and healthy.
yeah.
Not packing things up. You see sometimes people turn 60 and it's like, oh, I'm 60 feeling like 90 right now, and all that. Sometimes it's all in the mind, you know. And
Yes,
when
yes.
we invest time in our health, the body serves us for longer. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the general state of health in the UK at the
Yes,
moment
so
then?
usually when we have our monthly events, please, if you have any questions, you can put
Ah,
it in the chat.
yes.
We will pick it up as we go along. Um,
Yep.
but usually for all of our programs, we've always tried to look at the statistics in the UK, which may be different. Where if you are joining us from anywhere in the world, it might be
Yeah.
slightly different. But I guess the same thing will apply to everyone. So the life expectancies from research, we found out that the life expectancy for average male in the United Kingdom is about 87 years, and for females 90 years. Ray, yeah, 3 years. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I just
You had to do that.
It's all
Yeah.
right.
That's what statistics says, yeah? All right. And
Yes.
say also that the age to which people can expect to live healthily for both men and women is about 63 years. So which means if you're 20 and you're looking at another 63 years, that's 83. So it means you can
Yeah.
still be fit and healthy up till that time. And on
Yeah.
average in the UK, the government spends about approximately 215 billion on health.
Wow.
Yes, which means
A lot.
either we are sick or not, or for an average person living in the UK, the government spends about approximately 3,000 on each person. So
Wow.
that's
That's a lot of money.
one thing we need to be appreciative of, because if you are living
Yes.
in other countries, you pay for that. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on
Yeah.
swiftly, I discovered that in the UK, I didn't know this myself, that we've got 1,257 hospitals in the UK. And we have an average of 127,800 beds, hospital beds.
Wow.
So which means during the COVID time, when all of those hospital beds were occupied, it means at some point in time, a lot of people were in hospital, not just for
Yes.
COVID, but for different, for
Illnesses.
different, illnesses.
Yeah.
We do have that about 20% of children in year 6. I don't know why they did year 6. I thought they would do all the children in primary school, but about 20% of them are classified as obese.
Race. Yeah.
And this was 2019. So that means in 2020, where this was pre-COVID, which means that it would have actually increased during COVID, because quite a lot of people, both old and young, gained a bit of weight during COVID, the lockdown. It says that 64% of adults in the UK are obese, and obesity in adult males is higher than adult females. So women are gaining.
Wow.
Um,
That's a concern.
This is my time. This is my time. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
All right. Going over to alcohol, it is said about 57% adults in the UK, which means people who are over 16 plus in the UK drink a form of alcohol or the other, which means about 29.2 million drink alcohol. And in 2018, there were about almost 6,000 alcohol specific deaths just based on alcohol. Yeah. Also in UK, about 16.6 adults age 18 smoke. And out of the countries that were, they looked at the smoking habits, UK ranked the 20 out of the 35 countries.
Top 35.
Top 20 out of those 35.
Wow.
So I'm going to leave that for now, because we are still going to come back to that presentation. But that's just to give you a big background of what actually obtains in the country where we are, and really is actually mind blowing to think that about 29.2 million drink alcohol, and we don't know if it's in excess or not. But so this is what is happening now. Bayo, I want to ask you this question. How can we avoid being part of these statistics? Because this is real. And like I said, this is pre-COVID. Remember during COVID period, they said a lot of people, started drinking more, smoking more, and more people got obese. So how can we prevent ourselves from being part of these statistics?
Thanks for that question. To be honest with you, it's not really complex. It's a really simple thing. The reason why a lot of people have problems with fitness is because they overcomplicate things.
Right.
I'll give you a good example. I want to start living a healthy lifestyle. So I'm going to subscribe to my local gym, and I'm going to be going 5 days a week, and I'm going to start swimming. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to stop eating carbs. I'm only going to eat protein. People give themselves unrealistic goals that they're not able to achieve, and it totally frustrates them, and then they just crash and burn. So beginning of the year, January, New Year's resolution, I'm turning my life around. I want to live a more healthy lifestyle. I want to change that. So they have this long list of things. I'm going to register with the gym. I'm going to, and then by third week in January or first week in February, they're done. "Oh, I can't do this. This is not realistic." Keep it simple. I always say to people, I say that to my clients, keep it simple. What is it that you enjoy doing that is practical, that can fit into your everyday routine? What is it? Ask yourself that question. For some people, it's okay. I don't mind. I can do a little bit of aerobics. I've got YouTube. We've got a smart TV. We can access YouTube from a smart TV. Before the kids wake up, I can come down. I can do a little bit of aerobics. I don't have 30 minutes. I've only got 5 minutes. Is that all right? Yes, 5 minutes will do. For some people, I really like the outdoors. I just want to go for a walk. I can actually, if I wake up I should be ready to get out the door for work at 8:30 or 8 o'clock. If I can just wake up slightly earlier, I can go for a walk.
Yeah.
Or if they're like me, I could go for a brief jog around the corner. I'm done. Set a goal. The way you start off is build a routine. If you can just build a routine that you can keep up with every week, that is the beginning of your success in tackling obesity. It doesn't matter how big you are. It doesn't matter how far gone you think you are. I've seen people, and I know testimonies of people who were medically obese and decided to turn their lives around and started small, and now their weight has dropped to a normal weight.
Wow.
It all starts with a simple, first of all, it starts with a desire to do it, and then action. Set aside something that you enjoy doing. Don't go overboard. Don't go overkill and say you're going to do 1 hour, 30 minutes. Just start off with 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then start doing it once a week and build that up. From once a week, you can increase it to twice a week and increase it from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. And then, on and on and on until you start doing it maybe 3 or 4 times a week. That's all it takes. I always recommend brisk walking. Very easy. 5 minutes, go around the block. Do it every week for the first 3 weeks. By the time you do it consistently for 3 weeks, you will be able to, you've already formed the routine. You could then increase it to twice a week and then on and on and on. And another thing that really works is have an accountability partner.
Sorry, Baya. Can I ask a question there on that one?
Yes.
On that point you've just raised there, which I think is really, really key. So if I start off with maybe it's my 5 minutes brisk walking or 5 minutes aerobic, and I feel some pains in my body, and the next morning I really don't feel like doing what I did yesterday because I was in pain and I had to use paracetamol or ibuprofen, what would your advice be? Because to be honest, sometimes when I start like that, that's when I give up.
Yeah.
I'm like, goodness, I did that yesterday. Ow, I couldn't stand up today. It's not for me. And that's why like you said, at the beginning of the year, you start out like that. And then 2 days into it, your body says, don't even think about it. And you just give in. How do we overcome that?
So that's a very easy answer to that question. A very practical way you can overcome that is have an accountability partner. Someone who knows what they're talking about. Sign up for a coaching program. People say, oh, well, there they go again talking about money. The honest truth is what it would cost you to sign up for a personal coach. You probably spend that money in McDonald's or buying a pair of shoes or bags or a new jacket anyway. You probably spend that money on things regularly that you could do without, that are not essential. If you're sacrificing a little bit of money every month for a personal coach who knows what they're talking about, when you get to times like that, their role is to motivate you. So you would say, for example, coach, I'm feeling all aches and pains. What should I do? And the coach will tell you, it's normal. It's normal. At the end of the day, you use your example, Sister Pastor Vicky, you use the example of when you would go for parties and the night and the day after, all the muscles that you haven't used because you obviously you're not having parties every week. Those muscles start to pain you the next morning and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to recover from this? The reason why is because those muscles have not been used before. And with time, they adjust. What happens when you do exercises, your muscles break down. When they break down, they repair, but they repair very quickly. Now, the pain that you experience is when your muscles are broken down and they're in the process of repair. Now, if you give yourself a rest day and then you go back to it again, your muscles will repair themselves. You get new strands of muscles that you use for the next exercise, and then your body gets used to it. Your body realizes the fact that he's going to be doing this regularly, so I need to be repairing these muscles regularly. Like this morning, I went for a 15-mile run this morning, came back, and of course, I was in aches and pains. Some of my muscles were, aches and pains and all of that. Made sure that I ate enough protein because the body requires protein to repair damaged cells. Made sure I took my multivitamins because my body requires those to repair itself. And I'm ready. Tomorrow morning, I'm going out. I'm going cycling, and I'm doing a duathlon tomorrow. I'm going cycling, and when I come back from cycling, I'm going to do some miles of running. So it's not giving up, and it's knowing what to do when you get to that stage. An accountability partner that can encourage you not to give up. A coach, a personal coach who can help you to understand what's going on. When you understand what's going on with your body, then you don't give up because you know that this is normal. This is quite normal. And really, to be honest with you, that's the best way to deal with that problem.
Wow,
or challenge, I should say.
You said something, Bayo, that really that is a bit funny, or it resonates with me, which is the fact that you've been running for 40 years. How come all the muscles in your body have not been stretched yet? Why are you still feeling pain? But you know the reason why I asked that question. I've got the answer. So I think it was last week. We just decided that we're going to alter our exercise regime. And both of us started new
sets of
aerobics. What do they call them?
High intensive interval training. Yeah.
My gosh, by Tuesday I could barely walk, and I've been exercising. I exercise every morning. But because I just changed that exercise regime, I barely walk up the stairs. The second day, third day, I couldn't. Anytime I want to stand up from where I'm sitting, I'm like, But it's just knowing that you're targeting new set of muscles. And
and what was for me then was that by day 5, because she didn't stop, by day 5 she was used to it. She was like,
absolutely,
now I can do it. So what we struggle with at the start, over time gets easier. If we don't give up. And I think that's the message here tonight. If we don't give up, sometimes I was saying to my wife, I said, you know what? Sometimes you do all these exercise and you look at your body and you're like, oh, I just wish I had more muscle. I'm not seeing the immediate impact of what I'm doing. But the truth of the matter is, exercise, the benefit of exercise is not just for today, it's also for the future.
Yeah.
It's for the future. Your body you're toning your body so you can add more strength to your life later down the line. So that's why it's important. And I guess if we just break it down a bit further, so when we talk about how now, looking at how, I think we're talking about exercise. Exercise, like we said, either dancing or brisk walking, running, cycling, swimming. Whatever exercise we're able to do, keeping the body active. I think also if we want to be healthy, we need to watch what we eat also.
Absolutely.
Sorry, before we move on from exercise, I think, Bayo, you mentioned something about chair aerobics, because I am aware that there's some people that have those challenges. And vigorous exercises. You did mention chair aerobics. Can you just briefly expatiate on that?
So chair aerobics is basically exercise sitting on a chair. So say, for example, a person is physically impaired, as in they can't walk, or they have some health condition that makes it difficult for them to stand. Don't give up, because you can't actually do chair aerobics. Chair aerobics is just basically doing upper body exercises that will also burn some calories. And to be honest with you, you're better off than someone who's not doing anything at all. There's so many. If you go on YouTube and type chair aerobics, there's so many YouTube videos on different aerobics exercises that people can do as well. So if you have a health challenge, for example, you've already been to your doctor. I always say before you start any form of exercise, visit your doctor, tell them. Your doctor will never say to you, do not do exercise. They might tell you to tone it down. They might tell you to reduce what you're doing because of your current health condition, if you have a health condition, but they'll never turn around and say to you, don't do it. I mean, unless the person is, dying. And even with that, they might even still say that, you might need to do they might even have some form of exercise that they recommend. So aerobics it's cut down exercise. So you could actually do sitting down in a chair and just do certain moves that will work your upper body. So if you go on YouTube and type chair aerobics, so chair aerobics is one word, you would definitely get loads of videos, so many examples that you can. So if you're someone who struggles physically, or you can't stand for a bit, or you're just starting off and you just want to start gently, you can do that. And with time, then you might be able to progress to standing up and doing stuff standing up. So it's better to do something than do nothing. And I like what Pastor said. You will not always see the results of your exercise. Like I was saying to one of my clients, I said to him before we started, I said, well, two of my clients actually, I said to him before we started, I said, let me let you know now, you're not going to notice any difference in your body. So just let it settle in your mind. That is not what we're going for. What we're going for is a lifestyle change. Once your lifestyle changes and you're doing this as a lifestyle, eventually you will notice on the on your outer body. But guess what? On the inside of your body, things are happening. Your heart is becoming more healthy. Your lungs are becoming more healthy. Your kidneys, your liver, your blood circulation system, your internal or your intestines, everything is functioning more because you're putting them through the paces. So the work starts from the inside and then eventually starts to show on the outside. So don't be discouraged if you don't notice that, the belly is still there, or that's still there, or whatever is still there, because then, as Pastor was, we're going to the next session, we're about to talk about diet. So it's a combination of a number of things. But even with the exercise, don't give up. Stay consistent. Keep doing it. Even if you don't see anything, something's happening, and you will reap the reward if you stick with it. But you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you.
Christ who strengthens us. Exactly. Amen. That's the scripture I use to encourage myself when I don't feel, and we're trying to make this as practical as possible, so we know that this is what happens. We're not saying this is the easiest thing.
No.
You wake up sometimes and the last thing you feel like doing is getting ready for exercise. So we do it every morning, and we go for an hour's walk every day. But you wake up in the morning and you just don't feel like doing it.
Like doing it.
But you've got to just tell yourself, I can do all things through Christ.
Through Christ who strengthens
me. And again, once you walk it into your values. So personally, I've got a few values I work with. One I learned from an admiral. He says, when you wake up in the morning, lay your bed. When you do that, you've had your first success of the day. You can build on it for the rest of the day. So that's one of my key values. But that's one of the values in our house. You lay the bed when you wake up. That's the first success. That's the first thing you've done for that day. You can move on to other things. So after I've done that, next one is exercise. This is after prayer, of course. And then you go through your exercise, and then you finish it, and you feel good about yourself. But moving on because of time, we need to eat well. We can't we can't continue to exercise and continue to load. The Bible says the Lord loads us daily with benefits. But he wasn't talking about heavy food. No, when he said that, he loads us daily with benefits, but it's not necessarily heavy food. And some of us just need to curb our appetite also. And over time, again, you get used to it. You might be one who, like a huge plate, a mountain, has to be devoured, made plain. But over time, you find that you don't need the mountain for you to be for you to be full, and all that. So eating well, looking at what you ingest, what you take in.
Smoking,
drinking alcohol, all of those things. Do we really need it? Do our bodies appreciate it? You know, sugar intake, salt intake.
Yeah.
Do our
Yes.
bodies
Caffeine.
appreciate these things? Uh, when I'm joking with my son, when we're joking, we always say a moment on the lips and a lifetime on
On
the
the
hips.
hips.
You know,
I like that.
you put it in your mouth, a moment on the lips, you put it in
Yeah.
your mouth, it's so sweet. But guess what? It stays a lifetime on your
You
hip.
know, it's,
You
yeah.
know, things
It,
we need to think about. Sleeping well, sleeping well.
yes.
And
In,
I know we are all different in terms of our body patterns. Some people are day people, some are night people. I once had a friend, my best friend when I was at work, his day starts at 10 p.m.
oh,
So
wow.
by the time he's a white guy, really, really close, by the time he comes to work at 8 a.m., his eyes are red.
Oh, wow.
Why? Because
He was awake.
he was awake till 5 a.m. sometimes, and then he catches 2 hours sleep, and then he gets dressed and he comes to work and all that. And I was saying to him that this can't be healthy for you. You're not
Mm.
active during the day, you're active at night. You know,
Yeah.
so we need to condition our body to get enough sleep. You know,
Yes.
and my heart goes out to everyone who does like shift pattern work, because I'm like, if your body, you're telling your body it's time to sleep, sometimes it's during the day and
Yes.
sometimes during the night. And that can be confusing for your system and all that.
Yes.
But I don't know if you've got anything to say to that.
In fact, yes, I do actually. So first I'm going to talk about just briefly about the diet that talk about, because like my health and ultra spiritualized health and fitness program is there's three aspects to it. There's your exercise, there's your diet, and then there's your sleep.
Right.
Those are the three areas that I always cover with my clients. So I'm just going to make this really simple. If I'm trying to lose weight, but I already have a lot of excess on my body,
Mm.
and I'm putting more stuff inside to top up the excess I already have in my body, to lose the weight that I have to reduce what I'm putting into my body, so my body burns what I already have in it, because it already has that excess through exercise. And that's when I see the weight loss. What people do is, and probably don't realize this, so they do the exercise, they're already overweight, they're not reducing what they're eating, and then they're wondering why there's no change.
Mm.
You know, it's logical. Because the human body already has, our cells have fat receptors. So every time we eat food, our body grabs some fat from the food. And there is a reason why God designed our bodies that way. The reason why God designed our bodies that way, so that in the event that we need to go long distance, or we get stuck in an island, or there's no food around us, we can actually last for days without food.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know of stories, if you remember stories. We've had so many stories over the last few years of people that have been stuck. Maybe there's been an earthquake and they've been stuck in a building, and they said they've been stuck for 3 days, and then they found them alive. Now, people are like, wow, how could they even survive? We know for 3 days. What people don't realize is the body goes into a state where it goes to its reserves. And fat is one of the best reserves the body can keep. So it goes to its reserves and starts to burn the fat. And that's what keeps the person alive for that period. So when you eat stuff, your body's storing all that fat. If you don't do any form of exercise, it stores it.
Mm.
Now, when it becomes too much, obviously part of it gets what do you call it? It gets transferred. Yeah, because like an overdose. So it gets stored as sugar. Sugar then gets excess in your system. Sugar is supposed to be burned as energy as well, as part of your carbs. So you get carbs, you get fat and carbs, both of them stored in your body. Now, if you're not using them for exercise, your body's storing them. That's doing damage to your body. Your pancreas is supposed to regulate blood sugar, because it's constantly trying to do that, gets to a point where it's overworking itself, and then it fails. That's when diabetes sets in. That's why it's so important to watch what you're eating. You can't just eat whatever you like. I don't just eat whatever I like. I mean, I give myself treats. I'm not going to lie. because I feel that that's a healthy way to live. But I burn a lot of calories. I mean, I really burn a lot of calories. This morning I burned close to 3,000 calories just for my running this morning. You know, so um, we need that is so important. Watch what you eat, because if you're trying to lose weight, you first need to get rid of the excess. And we do have you'll be amazed how much excess we have in our bodies. That's one. And then sleeping. The reason why I on my YouTube channel, Ultra Spirit Runners, I had an interview with a friend of mine who's a medical doctor in the US who's a sleep specialist. Now that was a 3-part interview. And in the interview, when I was asking him questions, like you're asking me questions, I was asking him questions, he broke down how sleep works and the importance of sleep. It is when we sleep that our muscles our body goes into a state of repair. Everything slows down, and then the brain repairs the cells, all the cells, your muscles, everything goes into a state of repair. If you don't get enough sleep, you are doing just your body a lot of damage, because your body was designed to sleep so that it can repair itself. That's why when it gets to nighttime, for most people, they start to nod off or they start to feel tired, because the body's like, I need to repair myself. So it releases some enzymes that makes you feel tired, and then you hit the sack, and then it starts to repair itself. Some people struggle with sleep. Those people, they need to seek help so that they can find out why they're not able to sleep. Some people don't. Some people require just a few hours of sleep. Some people require a lot of hours of sleep. I mean, standard hours of sleep is 7 hours, and that should be sufficient. If you get 8, that's perfect. But 7 hours is fine for your body to go into that state of repair. So those are so important. If you're not getting that, it will affect your weight loss. It will affect your health, and it will obviously ultimately affect your whole well-being.
Right.
Wow, thank you for that. So, Bayo, thank you. You've talked about sleep, you've talked about diet, and I think we've talked about exercise. And when we are saying diet, we're not saying specifically different dieting. So, like what we've said, we've not talked about Atkins, we've not talked about keto, and
No,
those diets. We're saying that whatever you are doing has to be a lifestyle. Sometimes
yes,
some of those diets cannot be maintained on the long term. But I think
yes,
one more thing I'm going to add as well is drinking water. When you drink a lot of water, I'm going to show you a few vegetables that and fruits that we put together. Um,
yeah,
if you drink a lot of water as well, it flushes a lot of toxins from your system. A lot of us don't
yes,
like to drink water. I usually don't like to drink it. I just put a bit of lemon in it. Or, you can just put something, even if it's just a little, is it squash? Just 1 or 2 drops. If that makes you drink water, water flushes our system, and water is good for our well-being. And I'm quickly going to
absolutely.
show presentation. And one of the things we talked about, eating fruits, vegetables. Gone are the days where all we do is eat carbohydrates, big meals.
Yes,
No,
in fact, yeah,
and it doesn't. It's not that we are stopping carbohydrate. There's no way we can stop carbohydrate.
no,
When you take a portion of your carbohydrate out, you replace it with protein, with fruits and vegetables. And there's some vegetable there's some. So if you look on the screen there, we've got benefit of fruit and vegetables. So the red one says it's for a healthy heart, right? You've got tomatoes,
yes,
you've got strawberry, raspberry, red apple, pomegranate, watermelon, nectarine. You can actually make a smoothie of
Yes,
this.
that also
Put
yes,
it all together, and it doesn't have to be all of it. There's so many other but we're just trying to highlight what's different, the different colors. Next one,
And that's good for a healthy
the
heart. It
heart,
says
yes,
eat red
for
for
a
a healthy heart. Yeah.
Next one.
Yeah.
So the next one is just bear with me. Is the greens.
It's green.
I love greens. In fact, I take my greens like I take vitamins. I take greens every day. And sorry, when I mean greens, I mean green smoothie. And usually my smoothie contains of 2 fruits and 4 vegetables. Now we are so used to drinking it that if we don't have it, it's like something is missing. And with the green, you've got the kiwi, the cucumber, green apple. You can get the Granny Smith green apples. The one that are not really nice, the one that are very
yes,
sour. Yeah. Broccoli, kale, spinach, green grapes, lettuce, cabbage, everything green. It gives you, it purifies and detoxes your body. And you know what it does? It makes your skin glow.
Wow.
Yes, it does make,
Absolutely.
a few people have been asking me, what have you been doing? It is the grains. Trust me, I drink it every day. The next one is the yellow, which is good for our joints. So you've got sweet corn, you've got orange, you've got banana, apple, melon, lemon. Some people add ginger to it. Depends on what you want to achieve. You can just mix it all. And the last one, but not the least, is the purple, which is the one for longer life. That's, you've got the red cabbage, you've got aubergine, the eggplant, black grapes or red grapes, blackberry, plums, beetroot. Beetroot is very good and rich.
Very good. Yeah.
You know, when you mix it together, or sometimes you don't have to make it into a smoothie. If all you want to do is just pick any of these, but they have very, very nourishing effects. And yes, if you can try to make it a lifestyle, honestly,
Yes.
it is rewarding, not just for today, like we are saying, but for the future. And I think there's one thing that's also been mentioned, which is the taking of vitamins, especially
Yes.
vitamin D for people of color. Because, like, look at UK, we don't have a lot of sunshine. So
Yeah.
when you feel you are lethargic, you are, you're not just feeling up to take vitamin D. Vitamin D is very good. There's what they call is it sad? Seasonal affective disorder in UK, or it might be somewhere else, or in other countries, but that's one of the things that when you take vitamin D, then yeah, exposing yourself to sunlight. So when you see sunlight out there, run out or go in your garden, or if you don't have a garden, just take 5 minutes walk. Expose yourself to sunlight. I personally, I have a confession to make. I don't like sunlight. I don't like I don't like the sun. I like sunlight, but I don't like going into the sun. So anytime I go into the sun, it's either I have a face cap or I have a brolly, and my husband laughs at me. But recently, when I've noticed that, the benefits of exposing yourself to sunlight, I don't. When I see sunlight there, I don't cover my head anymore. I expose it myself. So yeah, which takes us to the next one, which is,
just on that, just talking about sunlight. We need to, they always say, I think even during COVID, it was said that open your window, open your blinds, allow
Yes.
light into
Yeah.
your environment, into your atmosphere. And I think I'm just saying that because of the seasonal affective disorder. Sometimes you've got so much on your mind and you just want to close down, shut everything out, just keep that dark ambience around you. You don't want to see anybody, you don't want to talk to anybody, and all of that. Those are things sometimes which just takes us down the path, downwards towards depression and things like that. But we're looking at that in detail next month. So on the 19th of June, we'll be here again talking about stress, anxiety, depression, especially amongst Christians. And whether it's a spiritual problem or a physical problem or both, and what we can do about it. Because a lot of times these things affect us and we don't talk about it.
Yes.
In the name of faith, we struggle and we suffer in silence. But it is the wisdom of God which delivers us, and the practical steps we take which delivers us from all of these things. I always say to people, it's nice to pray, but it's more important to obey God's principles.
Yes.
It's nice to pray. It's very, very nice to pray. We can pray that God will heal our bodies, but guess what? We can obey the principles which will ensure that we're not sick in the first instance.
Yes.
And that's part of what we're looking at. Okay, moving on because of time. So the question then is, where can we exercise? And I think, Bayo, when you started off this, you said, January the 1st, we register in the gym. It's £34 per month. We're not sure we can afford it, but we go by faith, and all of that. We go by faith, we sign up for it, and we go 5 days, spend 5 hours the first week, and we never go back to the place. And they are wise. They're very, very wise. They make sure you set up direct debits, so they continue to take the money, either you come or not. Does healthy living have to be that expensive?
No, it doesn't. Like I said, I think the reason why lots of people have problems with healthy living is because they make it so complex. We really need to keep it simple. I always say start off with what you enjoy doing,
Mhm.
something that is practical that can fit into your routine, that can fit into your lifestyle. That's why it becomes a lifestyle. So if you can go for, you can spare 10 minutes. Everybody can spare 10 minutes either in the morning or in the afternoon at lunch or in the evening, 10 minutes and go for a brisk walk. That will work. That's practical. If you can go to the gym because the gym is around the corner and gym is your thing, yeah, then do the gym. I'm not saying don't do the gym. You don't have to go to the gym to live a healthy lifestyle. You can go for a brisk walk. You come back if you get some dumbbells as a guy or a woman. If you want dumbbells, get some dumbbells or resistant bands. You can get them and you can use that for strength training in the house. So use that for strength training. Your brisk walking is cardiovascular
Mm.
and aerobic or high intensity interval training or aerobics if you're someone who's a bit fragile, you know, or just standard aerobics. Those are things that you can do to just make it simple. Or if you're someone who likes activity, you buy a basketball. There's a basketball court around the corner from your place. Go and shoot the hoops twice or twice or once a week just for 5-10 minutes. It's better than nothing. Or you can go cycling. Buy a bicycle, go cycling. Just go around. Go to the park next to you. If you don't want to go on the road, go to the park next to you. Just cycle around for a bit. Job done. Or skipping. Skipping is very good. A very good cardiovascular exercise. It enables you to burn a lot of fat. Get a simple skipping rope from Amazon that will count. There's some they're so complex. There's some that will tell you how many calories you're burning. Or you want to keep it simple, just get a skipping rope, skipping, X number of minutes a day. It will do the job. Or you could boxing. That's something I've gotten into recently. Got punching bag, my son said he wanted to dad, I wanted to do some boxing so I can release some stress. I said, fine. Got the boxing bag, got the gloves from the Decathlon, and now we're boxing together. We box the punch, a boxing bag. Works your upper body. So there's so many. Swimming is another one. Running, if you want to run, like if you're someone who wants to jog, start by jogging, you're running. Or if you find it difficult to be motivated, get an accountability partner, sign up to a coaching program. Like I have a coaching program and it works. My clients said, oh, wow, that they're getting compliments because it works. I know when they're down. I know when things are happening because I monitor their progress and I phone them up and say, what's going on? Talk to me. Let's talk. And then I motivate them. I always come from a Christian point of view that with God, all things are possible.
Oh
God
yeah.
is the source of our motivation. We need to understand this. All this talk of, oh, I'm not motivated. Remember, you're a child of God. The Holy Spirit is interested in your everyday life. The little things like exercise that you think God is not interested in. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he be interested? You're looking after God's body. You're looking after your body, God's temple. Of course, God is interested. He wants to motivate you. So if you're having a problem there, pray about it. Say, Lord, motivate me. Holy Spirit, help me. Till today, when I went running, every time I'm going running, I always ask the Holy Spirit to help me. Holy Spirit, help me today as I go out for my run. Protect me, enable me, strengthen me, motivate me. And I always exceed my expectations. So if you
Mm.
bring your faith into your exercise, I'm telling you, you will see wonders happening, miracles happening.
Wow. Thank
Because what you thought you couldn't do before, you
Yeah.
just find out that you become used to it, becomes a routine.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. And I think I always say so. On Thursdays we have a Bible study from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on the same Zoom platform as we delve into Christ likeness. And one of the things I say is the challenge we have as Christians sometimes is the lack of balance, and it's swaying
Yes,
from one extreme to the other. So you find
yes,
Christians saying, "No, the Bible says bodily exercise profits little." But godliness is profitable in all things. So we focus on godliness, which is fine. But
yes,
even the little that the bodily exercise gives, you need it. You need that little too.
absolutely.
You
Yep,
know, it was just like when Jesus said, "Man shall not live by bread alone, but
no,
by every word which comes from the mouth of God." He said, not by bread alone. It means that bread is important, but it's not just by
Yes.
bread.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we can't cast off the importance of taking care of our body and working the muscle. The way I always say it, I said, if you work your heart, punish your heart, make it breathe hard, sweat it out,
Yep.
you are doing it so that you can avoid hypertension in future,
Oh yes.
high blood pressure. You're stopping your
Yep.
heart from punishing you in the
Yes.
future. So you punish your heart today so that it won't punish you
Well,
tomorrow.
In the future.
well, I wouldn't. Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Bayo. I wouldn't say punish your heart. Just walk your heart. Don't use the word punish. You're scaring people already. Don't punish your heart. Walk your heart so that tomorrow, it's preserved. It's preserved.
Take care
Yeah,
of your
take care.
heart.
Take care of that. Don't say punish.
Yeah.
You don't want to. Anyway, but thanks for everyone who's been putting
Questions.
comments on the chat. We will answer the questions in a few minutes. We're going to round up soon. And people say, walk. You can walk from the station from the station to your
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Yes.
That's a.
Yep.
Sometimes you can drop 3 bus stops away. And just walk.
Exactly.
So it's those
Yep.
little things that makes the difference in what we do.
Uh, uh,
And like
on
we
that one
said,
though, on that one, get a good pair of trainers though.
oh
There's some
Yes.
yes,
pairs of shoes which are not good for
walking.
walking
Yes.
from 2, 3 stations
Yes.
away.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So get the
Absolutely.
good pairs of trainers and all that. Yeah, yeah. So I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I actually I was a culprit of that when I started walking. I think it was quite a few years ago. I think 2012. I wasn't using the right trainers, and I started having pains on my heels.
And
Yeah,
yes.
and
Yes. You would.
time you just think no, you need to invest
You had to go
in
to the
good.
doctor, did you?
Yeah, I actually had to get a steroid injection because at some point I couldn't even put
The
the
pain
foot.
was unbearable.
Yeah, so and that's it. Where can we exercise? We've talked about different places where we can exercise. You don't have to spend money on the gym. I've registered in the gym once, but I think I've only just been once. Most of YouTube University, switch it on at home. Do
Lots of
Zumba.
videos.
There's so many
Dance.
things on there that can benefit us. And I'm going to go into when can I exercise. I think we've talked about this. We've covered it because of time. We're saying, just make something that fits into your lifestyle because people
Exactly.
people people do shift, people work shift,
Yes.
so they can't commit to a morning. I know some when we used to go into the office. I know some colleagues that once we are closing from work, they get their gym bag and they're going into to gym. I remember when we the swimming thing was open. I used to go for swimming during my lunchtime because the swimming pool was just next to my office. So
Mm.
something that fits into your lifestyle.
Yes.
Walking to and from the bus stop, we've said about that. But just you know what, no matter what, find time. I think
Fine
you know
time.
what, we will be glad to know that we are put together. This event benefited you in a way. Just start small. Start where
Yeah.
you are. It's aerobics. Even if you are just watching TV and all you are doing is this, it is something. Just start small and then build on it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's when can I exercise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lastly, I think is before we go into the question is who should exercise and
Yeah.
cultivate a lifestyle.
And it's everyone. I think my father-in-law, one of the things I really appreciate about my father-in-law is that he's
He's on a wheelchair.
80. He's on a wheelchair, he's 80, but that man's upper body is very, very strong. And
Wow.
that's because of the things that he does, the things he lifts, and all that. So upper part of the body, very, very strong, very, very fit. As a man, he has very, very strong arms and all that. And that's because of what he does. So everyone,
Can do
whatever
it.
stage we're at in our health,
Yep.
whatever you're feeling today, a little exercise will make it better.
It will.
Yes.
To
Yes.
exercise will make it so everyone can exercise. And you know what? We talk about Jesus. I was reading this afternoon, Matthew chapter 8, preparing for tomorrow's message in church. And he was talking about Jesus taking his disciples to Caesarea Philippi. And I just imagined again, he was walking with them. He was fit because he was always
Absolutely.
walking around. He could have gone on
Yes.
horses. He could have gone on mules. They had it in those days.
Climbed mountains.
Exactly. He was climbing
Yeah.
mountains. He was doing
Pray.
things. And you know, we talk about Moses. Moses lived till 120 years. Bible says he climbed the mountain. He had a view, a panoramic view of the land the children of Israel were going to inherit. Now, we know, yes, God's grace, anointing, power was on him. But guess what? This guy also had been walking for
Physically.
80 years.
Climbing mountains.
Yes.
Climbing mountains. He'd been walking, his muscles were toned, his eyes were very good. And we need to learn lessons from these things, that what we do today will benefit us, not just for today, but also for tomorrow. It doesn't matter. You might feel overweight now. You might feel, all my muscles are, they're not toned. I'm going to feel pain. Get ready for it. When we did our session on finances, we said, have a financial goal, a plan for your life. For health also, you need to have a plan. A plan for your life, you know,
Yes.
to make yourself healthy. I think with that, we'll go into, we've got a few questions, and thank you to everyone who have put on questions on Zoom and those who have put on questions on Facebook. And we're going to go through them now, take the questions, interesting questions, I must say. So the first one I've got here is, what would your advice be on diet in terms of frequency in a day? This is somebody who doesn't eat a lot. So what would your advice be on diet? You said diet should be a lifestyle. Yeah. So in terms of frequency, I think we've heard of intermittent fasting.
Yes.
We've heard of all kinds of things. So do you want to take that, Bayo? What would your advice be in terms of diets? Yeah.
So I think at first place a person starts is to check what your BMI is. If you type BMI in Google, I always use the NHS one. You can type in, or you can ask you for your stats, your height, your weight, your age, what ethnicity, and all that. Then it comes up with a BMI. The BMI is an indication of it's the first indication of where your weight is at, really. So from there, you will be able to determine if you're obese, you're overweight, or if you're just right. And then you can then form a strategy. Do I need to lose more weight? Do I need to, or you can even look at your body. You know, we all know there's parts of our body where you feel, I think I need to lose the weight. There's this excess weight there. What am I not doing? So with that, I wouldn't do intermittent fasting, for example, because I don't need to do intermittent fasting. I burn a lot of calories when I go running, and I've got lean muscle mass. So it's not necessary for me to do that. So once again, it's like making things fit your lifestyle. So if you want to lose the weight and you find that you've been carrying this weight for a while, intermittent fasting may be the best thing for you to do. I know it definitely works. So for example, you might decide you're not going to have, you start off with breakfast, but you're not going to have any lunch. And then the next thing you're going to have is dinner, but it's not going to be a heavy dinner, So it's a number of hours that you spend without eating anything, that you give your system a rest. And then eventually your body starts to burn what it has in storage. And that way you begin to lose the weight. Of course, you add exercise to that. But if you're trying to maintain your weight, obviously we're talking about a balanced diet. You need a little bit of carbs, because you need carbs. Carbs converts to energy for you to do stuff that you need to do. So you need your carbs, you need your veg, you need your protein, you need a little bit of fat, healthy fats that comes from nuts and things, cashew nuts and all those type of nuts. You get healthy fats from those. It all depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you've lost the weight and you're already keeping fit and just want to stay healthy, then just watch what you eat. Not too much carbs. You need a lot of protein, because protein helps to repair damages in the body. The body uses protein for repair. Carbs are used as energy. So you do need carbs, and you also need healthy fats as well, because those go into your storage, which it would require to use when there's a need. If you're trying to lose the weight, obviously you need to, I always suggest for people who are trying to lose weight, is reduce your carbs intake, because your body has a lot of carbs and fat stored in it. And that's what you're trying to burn. You're trying to get your body to burn that. So if you're loading it with more, you're going to end up with, you're not going to lose any weight. So I'm not saying stop carbs, reduce carbs, have your healthy proteins, all the fruits and veg, but also with the fruits and veg, you need to be careful as well, because fruits give you fructose, which is sugar as well.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to lose weight and you eat a lot of fruits, you might find that because fruits give you, although it's healthy sugar, it's still sugar. So it's finding a balance, finding a balance with everything that you're eating, so that way your body gets what it needs and doesn't get what it doesn't need. So yeah, so that's what I was.
Thank you for that. I think I'll just add on to that. Sometimes we want to snack. We
Yeah,
are, sometimes you're walking when you're at work and all of that. It's just to look for healthy snacks. I don't know if you've seen
exactly.
that. Sometimes, one of the things I do when I used to go to the office, I used to snack on carrot sticks. By the time I eat it, most of the time, when I start having pain, I stop snacking. But I just use that as an example. You could have cucumber, you could have popcorn.
Yes,
Popcorn, when it's not too sweet, is a healthy snack apparently. So
yes,
you could have
yes.
look at things that, yeah, popcorn is a healthy snack. My son is winking because he loves popcorn. Um,
And nuts as well. Nuts
Nuts
are
as
also
well.
quite good.
Yes.
Cashew nuts.
Nuts, cashew nuts, different almond nuts, different types of nuts. You can
Yeah.
snack in between
Yeah.
your meal. Yeah. Because
I was smiling because sometimes you're like, I'm eating healthy, and you put together your salad, and what is in the salad has more calories than eating
Oh,
than eating your normal than eating your
no.
normal food. You load it with baked beans and eggs and
Yeah.
lots of stuff, and it's really really healthy, really really heavy, can be counterproductive. So that just made me smile. And
okay.
also with fruits, we say, "Oh, no, I'm eating healthy." You got 6 bananas, you got 4 mangoes, you got pineapple, you got papaya. You say, I'm eating healthy. Um,
Oh my
I'm
God.
not sure. I'm not sure. You got to think that through.
Balance with everything. You've got to find a balance with
Everything
everything.
in
Exactly.
moderation.
Yeah. Everything has to be in moderation. The next question is about sleep, actually.
Oh,
This is
okay.
from a friend of mine, a dear friend of mine. He said, does it matter how you get the sleep? Does it have to be 6, 7 hours once? Or can you have several power naps? Now, I'm not going to try to answer that question, but what I can say, for me, one thing works for me. I'm very, very good at power napping. My system is so used to it that sometimes I could just check my phone and like, oh, I've got 5 minutes to start something, and I'm just going to sleep for 5 minutes, and I'll put my phone down and I'll close my eyes and I'll sleep for 5 minutes. And by the time I wake up, I'm fresh, I'm ready to go.
Refreshed.
That's how
Yeah.
good power. Sometimes I'm at work and it's been a long day and I'm having a headache, and I'm like, guys, just give me 20 minutes, and I find enough. You could make all the noise you want in the world, it doesn't
Oh
disturb
wow.
me. I just sleep for 15 minutes, I wake up, I'm fresh, I'm good to go. That's how
Oh
power
wow.
nap helps
You
me.
need to know what
But
works for you.
that's not, like I said, that's not the answer to the question. I'm just saying that. So,
Yeah.
right then, power napping versus 6 to 7 hours of sleep. What do
I
you,
think I
what
think
do you think?
yes, I love when you said your power nap. I think that's really really nice, and that's something to really admire, because if you're able to power nap in the middle of your day, you're giving your body the rest that it requires. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, it could be very productive 5 minutes. So that's really good. But obviously, your power napping is not substituting the time that you sleep. So although you're talking about power napping, you're not saying you only power nap and you don't sleep at night at all. You don't have that time when you should, exactly. So that's in addition, which is actually very good, really, really good. And I'd love to emulate that. That you've given me an idea actually of something that I might actually try. I'll try that and see if it works. But we need to be able to shut down for a period of, I mean, even if you feel that you can't sleep the whole 6 hours, so long as you're getting um, a combination of 6 hours altogether and quality 6 hours. So maybe I sleep 3 hours and then, or 4 hours, and then I sleep another 2 hours. I mean, that works. But also, I would recommend, if anyone's having problems with sleep, check, contact, go to your GP and ask to speak to a sleep specialist or to be referred to a sleep specialist. I didn't even know they existed. This friend of mine who went to university together, who read medicine, I didn't realize he decided to specialize in sleep. So I didn't even know that's what he did. So it was when we were talking, and another friend of mine who's a medical doctor said, I wanted someone to talk about sleep. And she said, oh, did you know that that's what he does? I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So I called him and then we started talking. He said, the last year that I've done a lot of research and that's my area of expertise. So if you want to know more about sleep, if you go to YouTube and type Ultra Spirit Runners, I think it's either 3 or 4 part interview on sleep. And it covered pretty much a lot of stuff in detail, in layman's terms, so you'll be able to understand. He gives a lot of insight into sleep, how it works and how we can maximize it, all the do's and the don'ts and everything. They're on that video. But from that interview, what he was saying is, if you have a problem with sleep, seek help, seek advice, but make sure you find something. So there are certain things that you might be able to do that would help to relax you so that you'll be able to sleep. You might just not know those things yet. And that's what you probably get if you speak. And if you have any questions, if you go on my YouTube channel and you put the questions there, I will nudge him to answer the questions so that, you that way at least you get an answer that would help. But please, if you go to my YouTube channel, please subscribe and like the videos as well. Sorry, I had to say that.
Press the button. What did they say? Press the
press the thumbs up button and the like button. Subscribe.
Subscribe when we do a new video.
I think there are a few other questions, but I think we've answered so many of them. If you have health challenges, we've talked about that. If you didn't join us on time, this recording is on Facebook. You can go and listen to it again. What's your view on dieting, keto, and all different types of dieting? I think we've talked about that. Yeah. I work shift hours. How do I find regular time to exercise? I think we've covered that as well. I guess the last one is, there's one more which says I've been exercising for some time and I no longer see changes. And I think we talked about that. You could start a new exercise regime, just vary it. Or remember, like we said, and I think Bayo reiterated it, is the fact that exercise is not just for today, it's for the future. Yeah. Right? So you may not see any benefit today, but the benefit of the future actually outlast what you see today.
What you're actually doing. Yeah. Can I just add something to that? And also, it depends on what that person is trying to achieve. So if you're not losing the weight, then you might need to take comb through your diet. It may just be that there's something that you're eating that's preventing you from losing the weight that you may need to remove from your diet. So you might not realize that you're putting a little bit too much honey in your tea, or you're putting too much sugar when you're drinking your gari, or or your cereal or whatever it is. Or you might be, as Pastor was talking about, we're talking about fruits. Maybe you're eating 10 bananas and 60 mangoes or whatever it is. Or it might just be something subtle or maybe you're eating too many nuts, because nuts have a lot of fat in them. So it may just be, or it could actually mean that maybe you're doing some strength exercises, and because you're doing strength exercises, you're building your muscle. So your muscle mass is increasing. So you're not seeing the weight drop, but your weight is more muscle mass and less fat. But you're not aware of that. You're not saying, the weight is not dropping. And also, it could also mean that maybe you're trying to lose weight in a particular part of your body, and you just need to know the right exercise to hit that part of the body to get it into shape. You might need to do a little bit more cardio to burn more carbs, burn more of the fat that you have in your body. What type of exercise are you doing? What intensity? Are you going too fast, too hard, too fast? You might need to slow down. People don't realize sometimes that when you brisk walk for an hour, if you brisk walk for an hour, you burn more fat after the hour than if you brisk walk for just 5 minutes. It's when the body is actually designed to go into its reserves. Once you hit an hour of exercise, that's when you really see the burning taking place. Some people don't realize that. So you might need to add brisk walk into what you're doing to push yourself to the next level. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. That's really good. Again, like I said, one of the challenges I had when all of this started was I didn't want to lose weight because my wife was always quick to point out that look at you, oh, your neck is growing longer, your cheeks are thin. What's wrong with you? So I wanted to add weight, but I wanted to be fit at the
Yes,
same.
yes,
So that was
yes,
the dilemma when it started until I discovered that look, actually, what I need to do is pump my heart. That's for me. That's
yeah,
priority. Cardio. Pump my,
yes,
make sure
And do a
that
bit of
heart
strength as
is
well.
healthy. And then so
yep,
I started up with that, started doing lots of that. And then after a while, I was like, that actually a bit of strength, resistance will
yeah,
also
exactly. So your dumbbells, exactly, the
ups,
bench.
dumbbells, and all that. And that's what I've been doing. So
You
I'm
started
not
eating salad and
well.
all of
I,
that.
I was I
So
was
it's not
I
just
was
exercise.
coerced into eating salads, taking
I could tell the way
you know
Vicky was saying, Pastor Vicky was saying,
what
Sarah's like, yeah.
exactly what can I do? What can I
He
do?
enjoys the smoothie than I. Sometimes when we don't have it, it's like, where's the smoothie in this house? So
I've been converted. I've been converted eventually.
Exactly. It's a good conversion.
But thank you so much. I think that brings us nicely to the end of our program today. And I'm going to say three things very, very quickly as we round up. So, number one, we want to thank everyone who has joined today and
Yes.
especially our special guests. Thank you for coming. Thank you. You've been a blessing to us.
Thank you for
Like
having
I
me.
said to you when we were preparing for this, your name went really ahead of you. I had friends who were like, I know that guy. I know he always runs in front of my house. He's never walking, he's always running. You know, I know that. So thank you very, very much for coming to share your insights today, which we've all found really, really
useful.
useful. And for everyone who has joined also, taking out, I know Saturday is a busy time for most people, taking out time to come like this is really, really good. And thank you for doing that. So that's number one. Number two, like I've said a few times, this is a focus on physical health today.
Yes.
On the 19th of June, we're focusing on
Mental.
mental health. So every month, every month, roughly around the third Saturday of every month, we pick a practical topic and we come and we discuss and we learn and we go and we do. And
Yeah.
it changes
There are
us.
things
And
we have learned as well.
exactly. There are lots of things we learn also going through all of this. A sister shared a testimony with us how when we did the one on employment, she revamped her CV, and bam, bam, she got two jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just like that. Two jobs she really wanted just because she revamped her CV and she did what we said. So, our goal with this is that we all go away, and even if it's just one thing, one lifestyle change, we
Yes.
all do, and we find out that we get better. It's part of living the victorious Christian life God has called us to live. That's the second thing. The third thing is, of course, we're doing this on the platform of Transformation Sanctuary International. Our Sunday services is held on this platform. We do it in church, but it's also on this platform, both on Facebook and on Zoom. And please feel free to join us for that anytime you're free. The video for today will be on Facebook, and very soon it will be on our YouTube channel also. So, like Bayo said, please subscribe, like,
And like,
notification button. And also, for those of you on Facebook, please click on a like button so that each time we're live, you know, and then you can join us. Bayo has talked about Ultra Spirit Runners. Please feel free to check it out. I always say there's so many skills we can learn from
yes.
University of YouTube. So
That's
many things
good.
you have done. You can have a look at it and learn it. Let's go there. Let's pick up things that will make our lives better. I think that's about it today. So I look forward to you going and making those smoothies, your 5 a day vegetables, eating them, turning them into
10 minutes
smoothie,
walk.
sleeping well, 5 minutes walk, 10 minutes walk, 15 minutes walk,
5 minutes power nap.
power nap, exactly, Zoom,
Yes, a lot of our naps, yeah.
YouTube, lots of things you can do so we can be fitter, healthier, and
Yes.
happier.
Our nation.
When we are healthy, we can fulfill God's plan for our lives,
Absolutely.
raise our children the way we want. We can do things better. And these are things which really make us happy. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you once again, Bayo. It's been wonderful having
Thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure. I'm so grateful for the
So
privilege.
well done. You're really in high demand. This is your second program today. So well done and more praise to you. Yeah.
God
Well,
bless you. Thank you so much.
thank you so much. Thanks for joining us tonight and have a good evening, everyone. God bless you.
And you too. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for having me. God bless you. Thanks. Bye bye.